Welcome to Business Connection. I'm Liz Spencer. Hang on, we have just a great segment for you. We've got a lot of energy on the set with these two women, so just hang on, get excited with us. We have Maureen O'Brien and we have Peggy Bellafiore.
Correct.
And you're both, well, you're with Celtic Connections, but Maureen, you've also written a book. And so we're going to start with this book because it's connected to Peggy here with Celtic Connections. So we'll get it all connected up here for you on Business Connection. Oh, I just love it. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the book. Get your big girl pants on and sell something. I just like the big girl pants part. So tell me a little bit about what inspired you to write a book. We all think about writing a book, but we sometimes don't get it done. And you got it done, which I'm not surprised.
Yeah, oh thanks. Well, the book was written last year. I've been in a sales career for over 30 years. And you know, I think what you describe is much that is true with everybody. You think about things that you want to do, and you think, and you think, and you draw pictures, and you don't get it done. And so in my life, I'm trying to sort of complete that cycle, and writing this book was something I always wanted to do. I'm a professional speaker, and I speak about sales, so it seemed like the absolutely right thing to do. Complete the task, complete what I set out to do.
And people might look at this book and think, well, I'm not a salesman, or I'm not in sales. But one of the things that struck me about this book, and I think it was from your dad, so I was deeply touched, because there's something about dads.
Yeah.
And Dad said no matter what job, no matter what your business card reads, you're in sales. So tell me a little bit what that means.
Greatest gift, I think, that I received from my father was the understanding that regardless of what it is you're calling yourself, you're in sales. First, you have to start by selling yourself, selling your thoughts, selling your ideas, being able to articulate what matters and the concepts that matter to you. And so that was the beginning of that process for me, and I really believe that. I believe that it doesn't matter what it is that you're saying that you are. You're the executive director of Naperville TV. I suspect there's some amount of sales involved in that.
Just a tiny bit.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Just a little.
So it doesn't really matter, regardless of what it is that you say it is you do. Part of your job is to sell, even if that means selling yourself and only selling yourself.
Well, and don't you think that it's a little bit about positive attitude, and that's to sell, that you have to believe in yourself and then you can sell anything?
Well, of course.
I might be giving away some of the secrets here.
Yeah, there you go. You know, I think attitude is absolutely 100% of it. And I think that you show up in life the way that your belief system is about yourself. You could have the greatest product in the world. You could have the greatest company in the world. You could be an independent business owner selling, and if you don't believe that about yourself and your product, you're never going to be able to exude that in the conversations that you have with people. So it starts with you first.
Well, and I think some of our viewers listening in might think, well, yeah, well, you two are bright, you know, happy, you know, you've got that positive attitude going on, but how do you get that? And I think you guys answered that with Celtic Connections, and I'm going to ask Peggy here to chime in and tell me a little bit about what that is.
Well, Celtic Connections was developed to offer programs for women that are focused on personal development, and what we try to do is integrate mind, body, spirit, and soul. What has happened with that is we've found that it's kind of offering a third place for women. Typically we have our first place is our family. We're nurturing and taking care of that group of people in our lives. Our second place is our office, our work. We're making people happy at work. And our third place is our Celtic Connections. The programs that we offer that offer an opportunity for a woman to look within herself and to offer personal development. And that's the mind, body, spirit, and soul. And our event that's offered April 17th through the 18th is at the Abbey in Lake Geneva. All the details for that is at our website with CelticConnect.com. And we have a program in March focused on the sandwich generation, women nurturing children and parents. So all of our programs with Celtic Connection are all focused towards women's needs. And what happens there are, you know, very often it's much more than just the program. It's the connectedness.
Well, that kind of, and you sell Maureen's book through that as well. But
Correct.
You talk a lot about networking. And one of the things that when I read this book, and the thing that, you know, and I'm reading and we're all thinking about ourselves, is that you do know how to network. I've met a lot of people, and you're one of the best.
Oh, thanks.
You are really one of the best. Because a lot of us stop someplace in the network chain where you just keep moving. no matter, you know, if you're worried about, you know, I'm not quite ready, I'm just going to make that contact. Is that part of the secret?
Well, I don't know that it's a secret. Again, I would give a lot of credit to my mom and dad, particularly my dad, who taught me very young that we're all in the relationship business. You know, regardless of what it is that you're doing, you got to be in relationship with people. So I really look at myself as somebody who can help you get connected to where you want to go next. And the byproduct of that will be you'll remember me in that. And so I'm really interested in how it is that I might help you in all of the business ventures that I get involved in. And that's really, I mean, I think, again, you know, number one, you're in sales regardless of what it is you're calling yourself. And secondly, understand that you are in the business of building relationships. Whether you have a business, whether you work for somebody, whether you're a mom at home, it doesn't really matter. You are in the business of being in relationship with other people. And so I really believe that. And that's the place from which I start every single day.
What got you involved in creating Celtic Connections and getting hooked up with Peggy? I mean, it seems like you've got a lot going on, and now you want to take it one more step.
Yeah. Well, I've known Peggy for 20 years, and actually this Take Care of You program I wrote probably 18 years ago when I was sitting in a McDonald's restaurant with my 4 little kids, and you know, everybody orders a little Happy Meal, and I'm thinking to myself, where's my Happy Meal? You know, who's happy about me? I'm doing all this stuff for everybody else, and who's going to take care of me? And so I started imagining in my mind that the McDonald's employees were saying, oh, don't worry, Mrs. O, you know, we'll take care of you, which obviously didn't happen. So I went home and I just started writing. I was thinking about how particularly women have a tendency to give and give and give from a place of depletion, and we keep giving even beyond that, and I was knowing it from my own life. So I wrote this program called Take Care of You, and I shelved it because I thought, you know, it's not, it doesn't, how does that affect the bottom line, or is it business savvy enough, or who's going to buy that? And as a business person, I have to think about that in selling the speaking work that I do. So I shelved it, and then a couple of years ago, Peggy was doing a conference and hired me to do a sales presentation. And she and I talked about the possibility of doing this Take Care of You program for the people attending. And it was incredibly well received. And what became so very clear to me was that I wasn't the only one. I wasn't the only woman in the world that felt like, oh my gosh, like I make a priority list and I'm not even on the paper anywhere. So it really became a process for me where I started to think about how is it that I can be my best self or give to other people if I have nothing left. And so that really was the birth of Celtic Connections. And you know, some people get nervous when they hear the name Celtic Connections because they think it's Irish Catholic women saying a rosary in the back room, which is not what it is at all. Celtic Connections is non-denominational. We really are, Celtic for us is a form of hospitality. It's a way to invite people in. If you've ever been to Ireland, you just get invited in, and there's food, and I like that. So that's kind of how it started. And then as we researched it, we found that the Celtic knot, every village, every fisherman village had a different knot. And so if you got lost, we would know how to help you find your way home by the knot. And so ultimately what we want to see is Celtic Connections be worldwide. And every little village may look different. Every, you know, the western suburbs of Illinois is going to look a little different than the Miami village, perhaps. And so that's how the name was born, and that's how it's continued.
That's awesome. And we have just not even, I don't even think we've scratched the surface of what you guys are and who you are, and our time is up. So I have to encourage our viewers to visit your website, and tell me one more time, Peggy, what's the website?
www.celticconnect.com.
And then you can pick up Maureen's book, get your big girl pants on and sell something. Don't be scared if you're not into selling. This is really a lot more about life. And I am Liz Spencer. We're going to be right back with more Business Connections. Stay tuned.